So again, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Amir Abdullah. I am the Student Services and Outreach Law Librarian here at the William A. Weiss Law Library. I have succeeded my predecessor, Carrie Ann Rowe, whom some of you may know. This is the fall 2021 reintroduction to the Law Library, and thank you for joining me. The first thing I would like to do is to introduce everyone to other members of the Law Library. In particular, I'd like to introduce you to the public service arm of the Law Library. These are the people who you are most likely come into contact with when you come to the Law Library. These are the people who you can interact with and should interact with should you have questions about any of the resources or going on in the Law Library. First, I want to introduce you to Professor Jo Sturgeon. She is the interim head of public services right now. She's also the instructional services and research librarian. You may know her from some of your classes. She gives presentations for one-offs for things like the seminar paper and the like. This is Bailey. She's the Access Services Law Librarian here at the William A. Weiss Law Library. You will see her usually behind the circulation desk. We also have Cody James. He's the Law Library Fellow for this year. Every year we are very fortunate to have a Law Library Fellow. And this year we're fortunate enough to have Cody, who is a Colorado Law alum. Lastly, again, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Amir Abdullah, and I'm the Student Services and Outreach Law Librarian. Together, we are all your Public Services Law Library team. So the point of the presentation is to briefly talk to you and everyone about what we can offer you at the Law Library. Obviously, we help you navigate the Law Library resources. We help you navigate the library stacks, the physical materials inside the library. We can put you in the direction of a couple of resources that may serve you as you go through law school and beyond. And we provide what I consider to be a pretty nice space to study. When thinking about navigating the library resources, I want to point out that, there's a lot there, even just on our website. So a lot of this is talking about the digital and online offerings that you have access to as a law student at Colorado Law, such as utilizing the book search bar, the article search bar, being able to access the catalog at the Norland Library on main campus, access to databases, and even these guides. Fortunately, we've put everything to help y'all on the homepage of the Law Library and this nifty little section in the middle of the page. I'm going to show you that right now. So this is the Law Library homepage, and I'm going to be talking about all of those sections, the previous sections that I just mentioned. I do want to let you know that this little sidebar comes up quite frequently. It's a way for you to chat with us. We are live between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. You can reach out and talk to myself, Cody, Bailey, or Professor Sturgeon. You can also schedule a meeting. This meeting can be in person, in Zoom. We'll even do it by phone if you want. And obviously, you click no thanks. If you click no thanks, that should stop the pop-up from coming out again, which if you click anywhere else or just click the ask us, it won't do anything when it's expanded. When it's not expanded, obviously, it'll expand the that reference help box. But if you look at the center of the webpage, right here is where all that pertinent information is. So we have this book bar that really, if you look at the difference, right, there's a web page for that. The top bar is used for books, prints, ebooks, journal titles, record forms, government docs, and the like. And the second bar, the one at the bottom, this one right here, really it's for articles, right? Things held in High Online, things that we have, the index of leading periodicals. For those of you interested in Bloomberg BNA, that's where you're going to search, and a lot more. But please note that these bars don't look at search engines, right? So it won't look into Westlaw. It won't look into Lexis Plus. It won't look into Bloomberg Law. It won't look into Case Law. It won't look into CaseMaker. It won't look into Fastcase. Those, you have to go to those websites, right? I mean, that makes sense. We're not integrated with them. We are our own institution, and so it would make sense that our search bars don't pull from those search engines, right? Another thing I want to show you is this University Chinook. I forgot to mention, obviously, our search bars do pull from our resources. So if you're looking for something held within our building or offered through us, through our databases and the like, this is where you're going to go, right? But if you need something and you can't, you're looking for it, going to the University Chinook bar is really helpful. The thing about it is our link takes you to a very specific page, and in a lot of ways, it's not a bad search bar, search place to begin. But I find it easier to go to find articles in databases, that little highlighted more as my finger was over the cursor, and using the search. It tends to work a lot better and encompasses and provides more resources once you click search. I do want to point out that the University of Colorado Boulder has their own AAC database. I'm going to pull back to the law libraries page. We also have a database list, and if you go to all down there, you'll see we have our own databases. Let me click this one here. The one thing that's pretty obvious, the University of Boulder, right? They have 1,321 databases right now. These databases fluctuate, right? Companies get bought out. We don't subscribe. They don't subscribe, right? A lot of things can happen. In terms of our website, we currently offer 283 databases, but our databases are more fine-tuned for the legal profession. So things that you're going to need in law school, things that you're going to need in practice. And our popular databases even indicate that, right? High Online, great resource for you all. ProQuest Congressional, another great resource. ProQuest Legislative Insight. These are useful tools that you can use as you move through law school. Also, this is just on the site. This is easily navigatable. Go to P to get to ProQuest, right? Legislative Insight. I also want to point out ProQuest Indian Claims Insight. That seems to be really helpful and is actually a good tool to use. Please note that in order to use it, you're going to need your VPN on. So, make sure you have it connected, and you should be able to access any of these databases without a problem. Let's go back to the home page. The last thing I want to point out from the home page is really the research guides, and that's a section here. Research guides are guides that we as law librarians make for y'all. and they cover a wide range of topics. So for 1Ls, there's a 1L exam prep kit, 1L subject study guide, 1L year, how to succeed. The How to Succeed guide is really for the first month or the summer before you 1Ls get in. It's a really nifty guide to really just help students figure out law school. But beyond that, we have specific law guides, right? Like on American Indian law, bankruptcy law, blue booking. One of my favorite guides is the using ebooks guide and the seminar paper research guide. So using ebooks guide, we're constantly updating it. Some of the information on this guide right now is older, but these links are pretty helpful. If you have your VPN on, you'll be able to get into these databases that we subscribe to that have horn books, treaties, and a whole lot of offerings that should be able to help you as students navigate law school. An example would be ProQuest, not ProQuest, ProView by Westlaw and Lexis Digital Library, just as an example. Both give you access to textbooks. Unfortunately, it's up to your law professor to tell you what book to buy. And so the book you may need may not be on either of those, right? But these companies and the rest right here, they may provide a horn book tailored to your casebook. So keep that in mind, and that's how I would really use this guide. Another guide is the seminar paper research guide. This guide was made to help students in their seminar, obviously, but it was made to help with interdisciplinary research. So sometimes you choose a topic, right, that's not just in the legal field. So when I was in law school, my seminar paper was on theology in the law. And so there's that interdisciplinary field of religion and the law, right? So this guide will really help you walk through that process to find the research and the material you may need. Next, I think it's important to talk about physical library space, right? For some of you, this is the first time you've entered the law library, either because of what's been going on in the world around us, or because you just don't like law libraries, right, or libraries in general. But we have a lot of books, obviously. 3 floors, right? People normally enter from the 2nd floor, and then they can go down a flight, and then they can go down a flight again. And within the library, we have various tags on the side of our stacks. The stacks are the library books in the library. And there's different types of books, right? Some that are old, some that are very treatise-oriented, or they're just what they are, right? Promulgated by the USCS or whatnot. But we have different holding types and ways of treating these books. So first we have course reserves, and course reserves are books that are held on reserve for a specific course that you're taking right now in law school. These are books that professors have asked us to hold, or if we have a copy of a textbook that a professor gave us, we have it on hold for that course, and you can come in and check out that book for up to 2 hours. Holds, on the other hand, are just simply books that you call in and ask at the circulation desk, right? You call this number here and contact the circulation desk and ask for a book to be held. You talk to us and ask for a book to be held. So there are various ways to get us to hold material for y'all, and we will hold them at the circulation desk. By the way, if you don't know what the circulation desk is that big desk on the left-hand side of the law library when you walk in on the 2nd floor. Um, Colorado reserves, we have a copy of the Colorado statutes, and we have them on reserve. We also have some other material specific to Colorado legal research. Those can be checked out for up to 4 hours. And again, those are being held at the circulation desk. We also have other reserves. Believe it or not, we have CD-ROMs. That's how old some of the material is that we're holding back there, but they're still relevant to your research, or might be, particularly when you get into practice. Next, I want to talk about the stacks. So once you enter the law library on the second floor, behind those double doors, or you go down a level, we hold various books in our stacks. These books include ready reference materials, which are books that practitioners often use. They cannot be checked out for obvious reasons. We have reference materials as well that aren't able to get checked out, but they're held within the actual confines of the library, right? In the actual where the books are, not just in behind a counter. This here gives a pretty good layout or idea of where some of those materials are. We've obviously been shifting around a bit. Y'all may not know that, but we have been, and this may need to be updated later. I also want to talk about some of the helpful resources we have, just beyond books. So we have book scanners, we have printers, we have remote access, like I point out in the using ebook guide. We have some puzzles and movies and the like, and headphones and things that you can check out. The important things the things that are important that I think students should know about is the Uefa printer. It's on the second floor when you walk in. You can connect to it using your identity key, and you can print via cloud or thumb drive. We have a book scanner. We have quite a few where you can scan your books. On the second floor, it's once you enter the main stacks and make a right, like just following that wall that has a window on it. There's this little tiny room. You can go in there and scan books. We have movies that are on the second floor. So when you walk in, big desk to your left, look right. It's right over there. It's probably where you're looking when you don't want to see me or someone else saying hi to you when you walk in. We keep headphones and we've had laptops in the past. We keep those on the second floor reference circulation desk in the back. You have to check it out. And we have some puzzles as well. Puzzles on the first floor, some board games. We have puzzles on the second floor when you walk in, and we have more on the first floor. We also have some board games and the like. I've already talked about using ebooks guide, but we have access to a bunch of remote resources. This is just a few. Like I said, some of these got purchased recently, so it's not up to date. But the links still work, and it'll give you good access as long as your VPN's on. Please remember that. And we have study space, right? That's something I keep harping on, but it's true. We have a lot of space where people should feel comfortable coming in and utilizing the space to not necessarily get away from it all, because you probably should be studying. You're in law school, but it's just a way for you to escape the hustle and bustle of the main building. There's a map of the second floor. And as you can see, we have lounge seats, we have a group study room, we have tables, we have study carrels. And these areas are there for you. There's a lot of areas to plug in your electronics. There's a lot of space for you to meet your colleagues and peers. If you're doing a remote class, there's a place for you to sit and take that remote class. I will say the second floor is the loudest floor because the reference desk is inside the actual stack area, so this would be the stacks. And we take reference questions there, right? It's just what we do. I do want to point out this room here, this study room. This is the study room where LexisNexis normally provides their trainings. This is a map of the first floor. As you can tell, more study rooms, more individual seating, way more carrels, and more tables. Again, use the space. Look, this whole room right here, the Rothberger room, it's just an empty space for you to study, and it's got entryways, so you essentially have a space to yourself. We have the Rod reading room here. This is where the board games are and the puzzles. It's also a very nice room. There's sofas there. Really great place to relax. And all the way across are where the study rooms are. Remember, you can check out the study rooms. You can sign up and reserve them for your study needs. I highly recommend doing that. And finally, this is the basement. Within the basement, there's a rare books room. You have to ask the law librarian to go in there, but it's pretty neat. A lot of historical things for the university reside there, the law school, I should say, reside there. We have a circulation desk down there now. We're having some intermediate closings, so just know if you can't get in, the best way to get in, if you can't get in from the ground level, is just go up to the second floor. That's just the best way to do it. There are these interesting couches there, which I've enjoyed sitting on. The journal suites are there. The journal lounge is there. 1B06, where you are now, or where this presentation would be if I was giving it live. And all the way in the back would be 1B12, another classroom. This right here is study pods. They're pretty neat. They have their own outlet, each one of them. Super cool looking. Highly recommend it. And also, if you really want to get away from it all, there's a little carrel in the very back of the basement. Maybe you want to check that out. Lastly, I want to talk about contacting us. Like I said earlier, there's so many ways to do that, right? You could see us in person at the reference desk. You can go to the circulation desk. If one of us is not at the reference desk, go to circulation desk. They'll call us. This is just what it is, right? Please feel free to do that. You schedule an appointment online, right? You come here, start a check, close a check, you can ask a question. You can contact us personally. Our addresses are up here. If you go to About Us, Library Directory, you can click on us, get more information about us, and then get our email or even call us at our office. Alternatively, if you ever forget that, go to the faculty directory, right? So if you're on the main law school page, just go to faculty directory. Look, we're right there. Same thing. So we're accessible via personal email. Alternatively, you can email lawref@colorado.edu, and that will email all four of us, Professor Sturgeon, Bailey, myself, and our current law library fellow. You can chat with us, right, as well. Right, and that goes back to this chat feature. You can also schedule an appointment. And if you schedule an appointment, you see our names are here. You can pick a time that we're available. We have different availability, and you can schedule a time that way. And so lastly, I just want to say thank you for coming and participating in this presentation. Please reach out to us in person, online, or by appointment. We would love to hear from you. We're here to help. We offer a lot of resources in person and remotely, and we'd love for you to take advantage of it. If you have follow-up questions or reference questions, please feel free to email us at lawref. And the last thing I do want to say, because I don't think I put enough time into it, look, you can always contact us, right over here on the right-hand side. So please keep that in mind. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please reach out. there appear to be no questions. So I'm going to log out of this. And again, thank you so much for your time.